Welcome to the channel and welcome to Coombeswood, the location of today's tragic tale. It was February the 5th, 1878. Phoebe Jones approaches the cottage where her daughter awaits breakfast, but what she finds inside will haunt Victorian England forever. Hi and welcome. Today we're going to explore the sad story of how a man was failed by mental health services and went on to commit a tragic triple murder which stained the local area for decades to come, remembered by local people as the Coombeswood Murder House. Watch until the end of the video where we will show that we are sure that we have found the location of the murder house, nowhere near where official records place it. These beautiful hills hide a terrible secret. Coombeswood on Halesowen's fringes was home to a hamlet of collieries and canals. Its heartbeat was the Black Wagon Pit at Old Hill, where miner Joseph Harris toiled. Yet his mind had already been broken under the weight of Victorian-era mental health care. Released from Powick Asylum just weeks before, Joseph Harris had no choice but to get back on with life. He lived in a small cottage in Coombeswood with his wife, Amelia, their two young daughters, Alice and Eve, and his wife's parents, James and Phoebe Jones. On the 5th of February, Joseph, who worked as a miner, told his family that he wasn't feeling well enough to go to work. His wife's mother, Phoebe, left to take her husband breakfast. Before she left, Amelia told her mother to hurry back, as she was worried about what Joseph might do. The couple had argued late into the night before because Joseph thought his wife was having an affair, and Amelia was afraid of her husband's unpredictable moods. When Phoebe returned to the cottage, she saw bloody footprints in the snow leading away from the house. Inside, she made a horrific discovery. Her daughter, Amelia, was lying dead in the kitchen. Beside her was 4-year-old Eve, also dead. Both had been brutally killed with an axe. Phoebe then found her other granddaughter, 7-year-old Alice, still alive but suffering from severe axe wounds. A doctor and the police were called, but Alice died a few hours later. Meanwhile, police officers and 2 neighbors found Joseph in a nearby field. He was covered in blood and acting suspiciously. They arrested him and took him to jail. Joseph showed no emotion or concern about the death of his wife and children. He was sent to trial, where his lawyers argued that he was insane and not responsible for his actions. The jury found him not guilty of murder, but he was sent to Broadmoor, a high-security psychiatric hospital, where he remained until his death in 1889. Have we found the murder house on a 19th century map of Coombeswood? So where is this house? All records of it have gone, and information boards place it in the middle of an empty field. We have trawled through 19th century maps and found this location, matching the narrative of a house just off the bridle path in Coombeswood. Here is friend of the channel, Lucy, to tell us about what she's found.
So according to this Coombeswood Green Wedge Halesowen notice board, it has the story of the murder house right there, and an arrow, well, a line, J, so that's J, so it's supposed to be there, but it is actually, from what we've found out, more like there in this area. So we'll go and have a look. Right, so this is where it's supposed to be. And I've been here so many times looking for changes in the, patterns in the grass, which there clearly are. One could say it must have been there, where you can see it's all dry, but a lot of it is drier in the middle. But I don't know if you can see how slopey and bumpy and hilly this land is. It just doesn't make sense to me that they would have built a home on land this like slopey and hilly and steep. Well, it's not necessarily steep, but they just wouldn't have. So I don't believe that it is here. This is where it's supposed to be according to the notice boards, somewhere around this area. I've looked on Google Earth. I've gone back. I've used the historical maps to go back and look over the years at patterns in the grass, and it's not consistent. There's lots of different patterns in the grass that have changed over the years, and bear in mind this was 1878. It's just impossible to tell. Probably impossible to tell because it wasn't here. It was in fact right over there. That's what we're going to have a look at now. Right, we're coming up to it now. Just where this sign is. This is definitely where it was. The ground's much more level. It's quite flat here. They could have, it's not perfectly flat, but they could have easily have built land here. Just where this sign is. And actually, I think right here where this sign is, right here where this path is with all this gravel, this wasn't always here, actually. In fact, this, like 15 years ago, this was all just grass. But I think right here where I'm standing, we're inside the house. This is where the house would have been. My husband was here early today and he actually found bricks right around this area, which must be ruins from that house. They're old handmade bricks with the mortar still in between, so I'm going to see if I can find them. Right, so we're just at the back of the sign. The sign is just behind that tree there. You can see a lot of bricks. If you zoom in, see, it would be better to come here actually in the autumn when it's it would just be a lot clearer, wouldn't it? But you can see, I don't know if I can zoom in, right here, there. Bear in mind there were no, there's not been any other buildings in this area since that house was taken down, whenever that was. There's more bricks there and there, and this is one that my husband stupidly, he's moved it. I think he needs to come and put this back. You can see that the mortar's still in between the bricks. You know, so it's clearly here. You can almost see, like, could that be the foundations of it? There's more bricks behind that tree there. I mean, what other reason is there for these bricks to be here? So we think we found it. We think this is it. If I was brave enough, see, the sign's there, so that's where the house was. If I was brave enough, I'd love to just walk through all of that. It's just so overgrown with nettles, but I bet you'd see a lot. I might have to send somebody. Might have to send somebody to do that for me, or just put some wellies on or something and get on with it. I don't know, but yeah, if you could get through these trees, which obviously you can. I don't want to right now. You'd probably be able to see a lot more. And I don't actually think now that I'm here, now that I'm looking, now that I know where it is, that I don't think it would have been actually where I'm standing, like I said. There was what looked like could have been an outdoor toilet, which could have been around here, which was kind of like opposite. It could be underneath all that. Could be that way, it's hard to tell. But just because I feel like you can see, you can kind of see like the shape of the foundations of a building. Almost, I mean, all of these trees, maybe some of these trees were here. God, bees. Yeah, where it's kind of risen. I don't know, I just feel like it's just here. It's this area here which you can't really get to. can see more stuff through there. I can see more stuff. I can see another brick over there. I don't know if that's one I've already seen. God, it's so fascinating. I wish I was brave enough to just rummage through it.
What do you think? Is this the site of the murder house, or do we have it all wrong? Where do you think the remains of the house are sited at Coombeswood? Let us know in the comments below. The murder house is gone, but its story remains etched in maps and memory. For more chilling true crime journeys through history, subscribe and ring the bell. Until next time, tread carefully where the past still whispers, and do everything you can to keep history alive.